Everyone, this is Sandy Racy with Stampacrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me today. We are having our card class a few days late. Normally it would have been last Thursday. Whoops, lost my light there. But I was out of town, so we are doing it today. We have some great summer projects. Some of these are cards that I cased, or I saw something online that was really cute, so we're going to be incorporating some of that today. And as I said, summer themed cards, just because, you know, this is kind of the last time of the year that I do the summer cards. I know we still have August, but in August I like to do fall cards leading up through to September. So let's get started. So this first card, we're using a few different sets on it. We're using Elements of Text, which we're using this little spatter pattern. Then we're using for a sentiment, for inside or outside, it's all option, the right words if you want to. And then we're using the Notes and Totes bundle, which I don't have in front of me because it's packed up in my class bucket for this month. But I'll be showing you which ones of those we're going to use. Okay, so I'm starting off with a half sheet, 4 1/4 by 11 of Petal Pink, and I have a sheet of Crumb Cake, and then this is some of our new two-tone 12 by 12 cardstock. This one's in Pool Party. And I'll show you why I'm using this in just a minute. So on this one, I also have a little piece of white, and then I have a couple die cut pieces from the Notes and Totes set. But I'm going to grab, and you can use Crumb Cake or Basic Beige. I have Crumb Cake already packed up somewhere, so I'm going to take that speckle pattern from the Elements of Text, and I'm just going to do some sand. And I do it, whoops. I don't want that. I don't know what I was pushing too hard, but I don't want that shadow. So I'm only going to see the top part of this. All right, so we'll cover the bottom. Okay. Next, we're going to do a little sun with some Daffodil Delight. This is from Notes and Totes. I'm just going to stamp that right there. We're going to cut that one out. Okay. And then I'm going to use my Memento to do my sentiment. So on this one, I'm going to do Sending Warm Wishes. And then for the inside, I could do Happy Birthday or whatever I want to do. I'm going to put this not too high because I'm going to put my sun right here. Let's go ahead and stamp inside. So I'm going to use To Someone Worth Celebrating Every Single Day. I'm going to stamp that right there. Oh man, I don't know why I'm getting the lines. Let's do Happy Birthday right under it. And I need to trim those, apparently. But what I'm going to do, we're going to give it another shot. We're going to make that the front of our card, because that's going to be covered, and we're going to try not to push too hard. And do Happy Birthday under there, and then I'm going to trim that off before class tonight. Okay. So this is how we fix that when we mess up. Okay, so on this one, now we're going to take our two-tone cardstock, and I'm going to do the lighter side first. I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to tear it. Well, I guess I'll do the darker one. I'm going to tear it downwards. And it's going to look, well, I think I'll use this one. We'll start with this. We'll put this in the middle. Maybe I want just a little less white. Okay, that's going to go there. I want to cut one more. So I'm going to take like this. All right, so I want to layer this, and this is going to look like the ocean. This is the point, is to make this look a little more like the ocean. So I'm gonna mess with this a little bit more, have a little more of an angle, I think. Okay, let's grab our seal adhesive. We'll put this one right here. And I want it even with the edge. Okay, and we have our darker one. I'm going to flip this over. And then we're going to put this one on the bottom. Then we can get kind of that wave action coming up on the sand. And then what you can do, if you want, you can tuck in these little seashells, so like they're washing up on the beach. I'm just going to adhere that one. This is like a little nautilus shell. Then we have this one, which could kind of be coming up onto the sand. That's pretty narrow, so let's just use a little liquid glue on this. Have that kind of coming up there. I wish we had a sand dollar in this, 'cause that's what I remember as kids growing up in Florida. We'd go to Sanibel Island, if any of you have ever heard of that. We used to collect sand dollars while we were there. Okay, that was like, I remember 1976, we did a trip because it was the year Jaws came out, or had been out, and my sister was afraid to go in the ocean. I just rewatched that. It had I guess the 50th anniversary. So it must have come out in 75. But we had gone to the beach in 76 because it was the bicentennial. I remember that. Okay, good times. So I'm just cutting out the little sun. Having some quiet time. This morning I ran out to do some errands. I went to the farmer's market. Our farmer's market is open on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I can't ever seem to get there on Saturday, so I like to go on Tuesday, but they don't have as much on Tuesday. But I did find a few things. Okay, so we've got our beach. Now the sun, does that belong in the sand? Not really, but you know, it's a summer card. Now I have these, oh look, I have one here. Riverside Irregular Pearls, and I like them. They kind of look like, oh, I've taken all the adhesive off that. They kind of look like, to me, like sea glass or little bits of shells. Well, so I'm going to use a couple of these. You can use any color you want. Today I'm going to just use maybe the white. Looks kind of like little bits of shell right there. Isn't that cute? So summery. I love it. All right, so that's card number one. Okay, let's go on to card, well, hold on. Let's clean up, pardon my reach, and get these out of the way and in the basket, because we have card class participants coming in person tonight at 6:30. So make sure I don't leave anything out of the box. Stamps, I'm going to put these on top so I can trim those. Now, if you don't know, I'm just going to go ahead and trim them now, because if you don't know how to trim, if you can see right here, there's a lot of extra rubber right here. And sometimes it happens where, you know, it doesn't get poured straight or like cut straight. And so there's a bunch of extra rubber on one side. So I'm just going to take some little, these are Teflon scissors. I just got these at Walmart. And because this is stuck on, the rubber's stuck onto the foam, and then we have our sticky sticker on the back. I don't like cutting the foam, so I just try to cut that rubber at an angle. It's not pretty, but it works. Okay, so we're going to put this back here, and then you can see on this one, just got to peel that off. Because it was the same stamp set, you see there's a lot of extra rubber down here. So we're just going to trim that off. And there's some extra on this side as well. We'll just trim a little bit off the edge. Maybe a little bit off this edge. Okay, hopefully that will solve the issue of the halos. Okay, so if you're getting a lot of halos, you're not pushing hard, try trimming that excess rubber that might be stuck on there. All right, now we're ready for card number 2. Clean up our mess. Okay. So, we're going to use our Sips and Cheers products because to me it's got these fancy drinks and the umbrellas, and it just all seems very summery to me. And then of course green apple green, love that color. Okay, so one of the items in this Cheers and Sips or celebratory Sips suite, we have the designer paper, we have the stamps and dies. We also have this fun little, it's a set, embossing folder set. So I'm using the one that has the little blocks on it. And I've already die cut my label out first because I'm using my resources wisely. So I cut my label out and then I embossed it because we're going to cover where that label's coming out. And then I have a white for the inside. And then I'm going to layer this designer paper on another piece of green apple green. Now, if you place an order of $50 or more, you're going to get a set of these projects that you can make at home. Starting tomorrow, we have 3 days of free shipping. So excellent time. It starts at a $75 order. So with the $75 order, before tax, you're going to get 6 cards to make at home, and you're going to get free shipping. You can't beat that, right? Okay, now we are going to do some stamping next. Let's grab our inks and our stamps. Let's grab our bundle. I'll show you that. This is the Cheers and Sips stamp set. And then we have dies that go with it. It has cups. It has garnishes. It has a little bamboo skewers. Got some fruit and ice cubes, and then some sentiments. This is so much fun. And then we have the dies to cut out some different things. All right. So we're going to use Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to stamp. Oh, I'm missing one. Where is that? Here it is. Stamp this garnish. It's the little, I don't know, sprig of something. A sprig of something, and I'm going to do Cheers on the tag. And then on the inside, I'm going to do, what does this say? It's your day, let's celebrate. I'll do this on, I I'm going to do this over to the side a little bit, just for fun. And then we're going to take crushed curry and our little lemon image. I'm going to stamp a lemon here, and I'm going to stamp off once and do a lemon just kind of there next to my sentiment. Isn't that cute? I can stamp that on my envelope as well. Okay, we have dies to cut these out, but honestly, I'm instead of grabbing my Big Shot with my falling off handle, I'm just going to cut these out real quick, which I should have pre-cut, but you know, that's the way it goes. I'm just going to do a very quick cut. The main goal I want is smoothness. We'll see. Okay, while I'm going out, I'll just tell you what we did this past weekend. We went on a little family cruise with my husband's family. His sister, his two brothers, one of the wives, or one wife, and his parents. So we did a little quick 3-night cruise to the Bahamas on MSC Cruise Line, which I had never been on that one before. I'm gonna be honest, wasn't my favorite cruise line, but it was nice to spend time with the family, and went to the beach and did, you know, did cruisy things. All right, so I'm going to take this Cheers. I also took some cards, and we had a ladies' afternoon and made some cards. We found a lounge and sat down, and I took some kits, and we made, I don't know, 3 kits maybe. Okay, I'm going to put Cheers right here, and then we'll just go ahead and pop up our lemon over to the side. And let me grab another pop-up. We'll put our sprig of maybe rosemary. That's what I'm going to say it is. I'll pop this up right behind there, just like that. And for our embellishment, we're going to use some of these strawberry slush and Pretty in Pink gems. They are so pretty, I think. All right, I'm going to use the medium pink ones. You can use whichever ones you want. I'm going to use the medium. Put a couple there because they just go with this little pink drink right there perfectly. Okay. And that's, oh, I'm supposed to, why do I have this? I'm supposed to put this on there. Whoops. Okay. I lost it in the patterns. I didn't even see it. Okay, where's my ribbon scissors? I'm going to trim that just a little bit. And let's grab a little bit of double-sided tape. And just put that there across my ribbon. And stick that on. Hold on, I'll probably have to change that. Let's put this right here. I'm just using it like tape. Okay, now we can pop this up. We'll have to get a couple new dimensionals. I'm looking at that ribbon like, where is that supposed to be? Just adds a little more texture to our card. Isn't that cute? Love it. You can also use your Wink of Stella if you want to glitter it up a little bit more. You are welcome to do that. All right, we're going to get cleaned up and we will do our last card. Okay. Make sure everything gets back in the bucket. All right. And our last one. So when I think of summer, I think of yellows and blues and, you know, fruit. And even though oranges and lemons are citrus and they tend to ripen in the winter, in, you know, like December's big citrus season. That's nature's way of giving us the vitamin C we need to get throughout the winter months. And but I'm going to still call this a summer card. So I'm going to use some of this Citrus Blooms designer paper, which I love. It's not currently in the catalog, but it is an online exclusive. And I love the lemons and oranges. I love all the fun little patterns here. So what I'm going to do is adhere these patterns. Oh, you know what? I think I didn't cut those at 4 inches. I think they're supposed to be 4 1/8. No, this is, how big is this? I feel like we should, yeah, that's okay. I cut these so they would have just a very small, make sure I get the right pattern, a very narrow border. So I've cut my card base. This is actually 4 1/8 by 9 3/4. So I cut a little bit off the front, and then I cut it, instead of 4 1/4, I did 4 1/8, and that way I can get more of this designer paper out of a pack. So this designer paper is 1 1/4 by 4. Okay. You know, I've been on a cruise since I cut all this stuff, so sometimes I forget what I did and why I did it. Okay, well, I probably could have had a little more space in there. A little bit more. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Did I cut that right? You know what? These are smaller than I meant. So let's move these up a little bit, and then we're going to trim this. Well, I cut all of mine like that. I'm going to take another 1/4 inch. Another 1/4 inch off of the bottom flap on the front. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to take, that's a 1/4. I'm going to do 3/8. No, we'll do a 1/4. Okay. You know, just trimming as we go. We'll make it work. Okay, so for the inside, I'm going to use a piece of Lemon Lolly. And we're going to use this stamp set, Blooming Phrases. Now, the citrus stamp set that goes with this, I think it's online, but we're not using that. We are going to use this sentiment, and then I've cut out a nice little clump of oranges, which I should have pre-cut, but you guys are unfortunately going to have to watch me do that. All right, I'm just going to do this as a hello card. Hello there. And we can use Night of Navy, or I'm just going to use some Blueberry Bushel, because it comes out just as dark. I'm just going to stamp hello there right on here. And then we can put this inside the card. no border. Then when we close it, we have that hello there. I'm going to add a couple of these. Now these are on the last chance list. I had not used very many of these, so I am using them today or this month. Whoop. Just use a couple of those dark blue ones. But you could use the clear or the gold. These are so pretty and sparkly. Okay, I should have reminded my class to bring their good cutting scissors. We've got some cutting to do today. I think we've cut on all of our projects. So I'm going to take this and cut out our oranges. Now some of them will be singles, some will be, I don't know if any are doubles. Maybe there's doubles, singles, and triples. I've got a triple here, triple orange. Okay. The dice will cut out some of the oranges if they do not cut out the lemons. This would have been a good one. I think it only cuts out the smaller orange though. Not sure it cuts out the 3 oranges. Well, I might check that. Okay. So what else can we talk about when cutting this out? Well, I have to tell you, you know, I had mentioned before that we had put in some raised garden beds this year, and we are finally harvesting some cucumbers and tomatoes, of course lettuce. I think my lettuce is about done, so I bought some more seeds. I'm going to do a fall garden. But the tomatoes, we've been getting some cherry tomatoes for a while. And then our yellow tomatoes are starting to ripen. And then we have some plum tomatoes, which are a little bit later, but they're starting to bloom and grow right now. So I had a bunch of cucumbers when I came back from vacation. And tomorrow I'm going to make some pickles. And do some bread and butter pickles. I'm going to try some dill pickles. Usually I don't have good luck with dill pickles, but I'm going to try it because I have a ton of pickles. Okay, I love the bread and butter though. Those I can do. All right, so I'm going to pop this up. I'm not putting a dimensional at the bottom because this is probably going to hang over just a bit. So I'm just doing more on the top. I don't think I needed 5, but that's what I've got. Okay. I'll just set these right about there. And then I have a little bit of white baker's twine. And I need glue dots. That's what I need. I know I saw some somewhere. I have some in here, left over from my paper pumpkin kits. So let's just grab one of these. I like to stick that on my finger because it's kind of big, and I'm just going to roll this up and put that right on this stem. Okay, and then put my little bow right on there. And that's it. Isn't that cute? So if you spend $75 in the next 3 days, you're going to get free shipping. You're also going to get a kit to make 2 of each of these projects. And that's it. Good deal. All right, thanks everybody for stopping by, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.